Hey, I know you've seen the title, but for those who don't know, MAMAMOO and HWASA in particular have been the face of virus hate campaigns on Twitter to try and make them the poster girls for racism in K-pop. And I know it's stressful as a Moo and as just people who love K-pop, but they've tried to spread rumors of MAMAMOO being racist against black people, hate black women, and made fun of them, and are terrible people. But the ironic thing is, MAMAMOO are probably one of the few groups whose whole mantra is self-love among everyone, inclusive of gender, skin tone, and sexual orientation. But before we talk about the positive thing, let's discuss the false narrative that is directed to MAMAMOO and who is coming from. Let's take a closer look at what MAMAMOO has actually done. Let's start with MAMAMOO's blackface incident. The thing is, Mars isn't black. He's Puerto Rican and Filipino. His mother is, from what I remember, actually from what I researched, she's from the Philippines and she moved to Hawaii as a child. She's Filipino and has some Spanish ancestry. His father is Puerto Rican and half Ashkenazi Jewish, from Ukraine and Hungary. As a black person, I don't fault them for wearing makeup that was 2 shades darker than they are, but it was ignorant for them to copy him like that and to darken their skin at any point for that copying. The aftermath of this was MAMAMOO, along with their company, released three trace, say, trois. Oh yes, I am multilingual, kinda, maybe, just a little bit. But they released 3 apologies directed to the black community in particular, and even apologies at their concert the following day. The next false scandal that happened was when HWASA referred to herself as the tanned or darkest member of the group, which is true. If you look at them, she is the most tanned member of the group. But she said this when the lighting on their stage was dimmed, and she never said that she was the black member. It was a mistranslation, but let me put a cue in for y'all. Remember that keyword that I just said, mistranslation, because I will talk about that towards the end of the video. Another thing that was a problem was when HWASA was covering the Beyonce song To the Left, and people said that generally there's multiple versions of that song that Beyonce sings. But in the song lyrics that was provided to HWASA, nigga was in it. And she sang the word nigga. And it's really unfortunate because she is not fluent. None of them are actually fluent in English. And honestly, this wasn't a choice that she made to say the word. And when I say that, I mean that she is not knowledgeable or fluent in English. They know enough to sing covers, but not enough to know the context of in our derogatory terms. After this, another apology was released. Finally, the last thing that we're going to talk about is HWASA was seen wearing a gown and a hair wrap on one of the TV shows that she frequents and is a main cast member of. I think it's called I Live Alone. The purpose of her wearing the gown was to put something on that people wouldn't normally wear in public. Other cast members came on Halloween-esque outfits or goth attire, but HWASA wore a Nita or a sauna gown, which is usually worn while at home or resting or at a sauna. Without doing much research, people assumed that she was wearing a Nigerian dress and headdress. They also took effect to a mistranslation, remember that word, of her saying something along the lines of, I'm surprised people weren't scared or shocked when they saw me, but it was probably because other cast members, I do not remember the lady's name, came out before her. It was not that she was trying to make fun of anything, but people who don't usually wear their nightgowns and sauna outfits outside in public, as they are home wear. Let's talk about mistranslation. In K-pop, Korean pop, they are speaking Korean. And they're not speaking English 90% of the time. They may say little words here and there, but so when people say or try to cancel them for ignorance or not knowing things, I wouldn't say it's crazy, but is unfair because certain things, especially if you don't have people or you don't have teachers or lessons to teach you about the ignorance of what happened in the US and everywhere around the world when it comes to how black people are treated, because Koreans are not the most welcoming people when it comes to black people. And I won't say that I won't generalize, but racism exists everywhere. But just because racism exists everywhere does not mean the same language exists everywhere. Because nigger or nigger is not a common term in Korea. I'm sure they have their version of it, as every other culture has a version of that word or that term for black people. So I don't fault her for singing along to a lyric of a Beyonce song, because at the end of the day, if you're singing another language that you're not fluent to, and you're just covering a song because you love the artist, um, you not unfortunately you're not going to Google every single word in the song, because even with us who hum and mimic and sing Korean songs, we don't know everything that they're saying in their songs unless we look at the lyrics and look at the translations of the songs themselves. And I'm saying this for me, like I don't. When I look at Dreamcatcher song "Scream," I was like, "What the hell? This is all this devil eyes and stuff and this that, and the third." But I love the song. It's a fun song, and I love Dreamcatcher. But like, I just say that to say that you have to be careful, and you have to be aware that when you're dealing with people from other cultures, language is not the same. Treatment may be the same or similar, but the language is not the same. So you need to be mindful of how you treat idols and how you treat people who don't speak your language and say something ignorant. You have to teach them and allow time for growth, because a lot of the things is what people don't understand is you are groomed based on your culture how to react to other people of other cultures. You can outgrow that and you can make yourself self-aware if you have the time and the resources and the energy to do so.